How's it going, everyone? Gonna go live. I think I'm live. Pretty sure I'm live. I think the chat room's open, so if you're watching, just give me a chat. Say hello. So let's start her off. Looks like Bitcoin crossed over the previous high breaks at 1160. I'm not sure how this whole market thing works yet. I'm a wet behind the ears kind of deal, and not sure if the break on the previous highs, the explosion on Bitcoin is causing all the altcoins to dip a little bit on the percentages. But that being said, I'm not sure if the prices are actually dipping. It's just the percentages of the percentage of the Bitcoin. I'm not sure how it goes yet. Just so you know, I've been trading for 20 years. Not professional, not professionally trained. And I'm looking at this cube, BQ. What is this called? QBuck. It's another thing, just so you know, I have no idea what these things are doing. But I got a monthly chart going on right here. I got previous high breaks coming. I got volume. These things need volume. And I think that you'll be all right if you just watch volume on these things, because once volume comes in, these things break like a... they just take off. So right now I'm watching this one. I'm going to break this one in half right here. If it breaks previous highs on this long-term chart, I'm going to take the measured move, and I'm going to go ahead and sell half. So whatever that measured move is. You take the range, and you take the break. So I think I got an order in for sale in and around 6.5 or so. You can see the last run on this monthly chart came down all the way back into support. Now it's got a quick U right here, higher lows throughout. Looks pretty healthy. All you need is volume. So let's get some more room in here. There we go. Some more room. All right, so what I like to usually do is watch the percent gainers. Today, there's no percent gainers except the ones, I think Flow ran up to 60% or so. Watch that on the pullback. Looks like the next percent gainer is claims. No idea about these charts. Or I know about the charts. I don't know anything about the fundamentals of these coins. Looks like claims coming down into support, so no hurry on this one. Looks like on the weekly chart it's crossing the 34. Just so everyone knows, I got the 8, the 13. The 8 is the red. The 13 is the green is the 13 EMA. The red is the 8 EMA, and the 34 is my trend. When things turn around, I want to stay above the 8 at all costs. Market, I want to be above the 34. I watch for prices to cross the 34, come back into support. Sorry, I have a dog that's on wood floors and it's kind of loud. And I'm at work, so I might get a customer. So let's take a, I like to start with the long-term charts, and then I like to narrow it down and see where we're at. Looks like it had a peak, and it's stepping into support. Support's got to hold. I would take support above previous highs. Low support. Support's got to hold. Could just fall over for another dip. Buy into support, sell into resistance. My averages here are all support and resistance. I like to watch price come in and out of that 34, bouncing along with the 8 and 13, coming in and out, in and out, in and out, back and forth, back and forth. So not much percent gainers going on. Let's look at volume. Volume's key. These things are free market, unregulated. It's like trading back in 1999. So that's volume gainers. Let's look at probably at 10 of these, see where we're at. Looks like the big volume today is the drop off. Let's look at the long term on Litecoin. So we had a nice little bottom. Look at that cross above the 34, came back into support. And now you can see on the, let's go into the daily first. You can see the double back. That's an outside day. It could come back into support. This could also be just the breakout of the flat top break. Could be just a breakout and then the pullback into support. So I'll have to watch this for a little bit. I wouldn't be, it's at support now, so buy into support, but I would be careful if support doesn't hold on this, because that's a nasty, nasty daily candle right there, outside day. It's very bearish, but that could be the throwback, the head fake, broke out, and then came all the way back into support. It's called a bullish retracement in my terms. So it broke out, came back into support. Use previous highs as your support. So if it breaks above that, if it breaks above 8, like it did, but then again, look at the shorter term, make sure your entry's okay. This looks like it wants to come back into the 8, which is previous breaks. Lots of dead volume here. Make sure you watch the volume. And then if I was going to buy it, I'd look for a pattern break on like the 5-minute or something. And there she is. You got a double bottom. This could be a bearish retracement back into resistance, but I do have a double bottom. I have a hammer over here. And let's just get above that 13 and 8. In between the 13, or the 34 and the 13. In between here would be a nice place to start scaling in. ETH, start from the top. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, let's look at flow, because that was running this morning. Looks like it just fell off the map, but it broke out, so that's coming back into support on a longer term chart. Let's check this out. See, it broke out, came back into support. Let's keep going on this bad boy. See, it broke out, came into support. So it's at support now. Watch that earlier time frames. Watch it come into support. I got support line at 00 blah 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 858. Lots of zeros. In the 5 minutes, see if we can find some kind of a reversal bar. I love candles. I got 3 lines on a chart and candlesticks. Learn your candlesticks. Those there's about 11 reversal bars that you need to learn. 2-bar reversals, 3-bar reversals, single-bar reversals. There's only about 11 of them that you really need to pay attention to. So that looks like a pretty extended exhaustion move on the way down. And again, we had a breakout this morning. Actually, let's look at the 4-hour chart. So this is just a big pullback after the break. Pullback. Head fakes. I would use 11.8 as a support on the longer term chart to ride above. I got a point here, I got a point here, and I got a point here. Use previous highs as your support on the way up. If it breaks above this previous high, use that as your support. If it breaks above this previous high, use that as your support. But it looks like a punch into 15 all the way back into 8. Looks like a 100% move there and back. Almost. See how it crosses that 34? Comes back into support. Support has to hold. If it doesn't hold, you know you made a mistake and you're on your way out. All right, on to the volume gainers, ETH. Looks like it dipped down on ETH, broke previous lows, and dipped down just a little bit. It's got to get it back above that spot. Otherwise, it's going to take another leg down. Let's take a look. Longer term. Here's a nice support buy here. I got a meeting line right here. Candlesticks. Down into support. Let's take a longer look. Look how much, look how extended it is from its averages. So now it's coming back into support. I would suggest coming back into previous highs as a support. I don't think it's ready yet. Looks like it wants to come back in. A little bit more. Watch those stair steps back into support, buy into support. Let's look at a longer term. Here's your support. Previous highs is a monthly chart. Nice W pattern here. Double bottom. And the previous high break. So it's back into support. It could stretch its legs a little bit. Stay above 50% of the previous candle. That way you keep your momentum. If you fall below 50%, the momentum dies. This is just a pullback. I call it a bullish retracement because it broke previous highs and now it counts coming back into support. Support could be anywhere. What you want to do is find those reversal bars on the lower term. Oops. So it broke down support here at 3.7. It's coming all the way back in. Now I got a reversal. It's got to close above. It's coming into resistance and getting rejected right now. So let this pattern form. Let it find a bottom. This could be a spike low, but we don't know if that's the bottom because this is going to make an opposing point and then it's going to make a higher low. We don't know if that's going to be a higher low or a double bottom or a breakdown. So it's too early. You can buy the spike lows. You don't know where the opposing points are going to be, what the pattern's going to make. You can scale in, maybe take a bite. If support doesn't hold, it might fall over. Just too many variables. It's coming back into resistance right now. Let's take a look at XRP. XRP. Let's take a look at the longer term first, see where we're at. We got to make sure that we're above. We want to gauge whether or not we're above or below the 34. That's our trend. So we're above, definitely above, changing trend on XRP. This is the bullish retracement back into support, that 34. Comes back in, that's a bullish retracement. Let's see where the bottom is. Let's just keep working it. See, it made a high, came back into support, had lost its gas here, and now it's breaking down. It's breaking below my support, my initial support line on the way up. I got previous highs over here as support. Right now it's bouncing off of that spot. So if that breaks down, it'll break down into the next range high. So potentially if it breaks this, it breaks into this high, potentially it can come down to 1.5, 1.3, 1.5. So I don't think it's ready yet. I don't think the bullish retracement's fully come back in. The bullish retracement is a consolidation phase. So it breaks out, consolidates over support. Let's look at Dash. Another thing to be warned about is if it already ran, wait for it to create a pattern. This is a daily chart. It could take a few weeks. On a weekly chart, it could take, this could be just a 1-2 punch. The bust out, the come into support, and then the break. Just think of it as when it gets up here, the rubber band's being pulled all the way back, and then it slingshots. Sometimes the consolidation phases are short and sweet. Sometimes they take months. But these are weekly candles, so obviously it'll take weeks. But like I said, it busted out, and then the rubber band is being pulled back into support, and then when they let it go, it'll go whoo, right through resistance. Watch volume. Always watch volume on these. Any significant amount of volume, anything can happen on these bad boys. Where's Dash at? There we go. That's a weekly chart on Dash. Came all the way up, came all the way back into the previous breaks, trying to find support. Let's take care of my crap here. So let's find that support line. Let's make a pattern. Let's do it. That's a bearish flag into resistance. So watch for previous low breaks. It's got to hold 5. It's at 5.5 now. Let's check out the, I'm gonna make sure that the QBK is not broken yet. Still trying. Need some more volume. We're at 46, 47. See if we can double that. There's 47. So watch Dash as it's got a bearish flag into resistance. You see how it got rejected on that first line? This could turn into a double bottom, but wait for this to come down into support, whether it's here or whether it's down here. We need an opposing point for a trend line. So it's flirting with the 34. I got support, previous highs coming in at 4.5. 5's got to hold or it's going to dip down. Here's the 60 minutes. Looks like we had an exhaustion move here and a double back. Right now we're into resistance, the previous low. Resistance on the way up is previous lows. Support on the way down is previous highs. Try to keep it very easy to figure. I got a, looks like a right shoulder, a V bottom forming now. I got a double bottom. This looks like to be one of those famous reverse head and shoulders. So I have a left shoulder. It's going to come into resistance, make a right shoulder, and then we'll see what happens. Watch that neckline break. Right? See what happens. That's a pretty common pattern right there. Price pattern, the reverse head and shoulders. Reverse head and shoulders happen at the bottom. Head and shoulders tops are at the tops of patterns. Since we're coming down into the bottom into support. We broke out, came into support. I'm thinking that we're going to reach a bottom here soon. So watch those patterns come to you. Identify the pattern, break. Watch the pattern form. Watch the pattern break. You can buy into support on the patterns. Here's the support line when it comes onto the right shoulder. Anything could happen. But reverse head and shoulders are very common. So I'm looking at resistance up here. I'm looking for a 2-bar reversal. I got a double bottom 2-bar reversal coming in. I got 25 minutes left on this candle. Let it come into resistance. See if it'll pop above into the previous left shoulder over here. Pop into resistance. Make a quick U. Sometimes it'll drag its ass all the way back in, but the quicker the turn, the bigger the move. Let's look at FCT. These are all the volume gainers today. Pretty much everything's down. So watch those support lines, buy into support if you got some favorite deal going on. Your favorite altcoin. And I'll do a couple more of these. Oh, I got straight. Someone asked for straight. I'll probably jump around after XMR. See what happens. Long-term chart on FCT. Look at that long-term chart. I got what we call a price pinch forming. I got a downward trend line resistance. I got an up higher lows coming in. Prices in between support and resistance going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, pop. I don't know if it's going to go up or down, but when price comes into these tight little spots, where resistance and support is, the range is going shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. These things wind up like a little corkscrew and then pop. So I don't think this one's ready. Watch, I would trade outside the pattern. I would buy into support, sell in resistance. The range is way too small in here. I wouldn't waste your time unless you're really, really good. But wait for this pattern to break. It's got a long-term chart there. Now let's see if we can find some kind of a turn. Below the 34 on the hourly. Watch for this to bounce and come back into resistance. And then obviously this previous high is the top of that long-term chart. So flat top break at 4.7. Mark your calendars. Could happen. All right, XMR. XMR looks like a bottom coming in. I got a double bottom. I got a left shoulder A, B bottom, A, B. That's the reverse head and shoulders start. A, B, and then let this come in into previous highs. Let the right shoulder come in. Again, this is a very popular reverse head and shoulders. I got previous high breaks right now. This previous high candle break into the first line of resistance. Could be a good buy right there. Could be a good buy. It's breaking into previous lows, breaking previous highs. That's a nice little balance point. Let it come in, come back into support. I got higher low on this candle. I got an outside day. I got a double bottom, breaking into previous lows here shortly. It's at resistance now, but watch those previous high breaks. If it gets into the previous lows, it'll ride up the range. See what happens. Looks like a bottom. let the price come to you. What I want to do if I was looking at this, I'm already in it. So whatever happens, I'm good. I have a strategy called the free share strategy. I take a core value, I buy the breaks, I take my core back out and let the free shares ride. And I don't own a lot of each one. I just own a little bit a piece. But so far I own like 75% of these, between 20 and $100. And so it's not a big deal, but those are all free shares. I still own the core. Take my core, I buy the breaks, I sell my core, and I let the free shares ride. It's a free share strategy. I call it that because it's free shares. I still have my core value. But these are so much fun to trade. I mean, trade equities for so long. These are so much more fun. I swear it's like trading in 1999. Gonna watch this break above previous highs into previous lows, see if it'll happen. Let's take a look at the shorter term, see if we can find anything special. There we go. Here's a 15-minute chart. Looking for a bottom, trying to narrow it in, zoom in on the time frames. A nice little bottom base. Right now it wants to break into previous lows. It already broke once, came into support. Now we're building the higher lows. Watch this next run into previous lows up the range. And then watch that right shoulder come in, and then we can buy the break. You can buy the support or buy the break. Try not to trade inside of the patterns. Buying to support, selling resistance. You just got to think of it that way. If you buy inside the range, you might get shooken out. You might hit resistance too soon. You want to let it come back to you. Like this break here, and you let it come by. Someone was right on the money and bought it at the bottom here. These really do act like technical analysis is important, because these things really respond well. See what's going on. Come on. Looks like a nice bottom forming though. Right off that 34 daily. You can see the spike low. If support doesn't hold, you know you made a mistake. If 16 doesn't hold, you know you made a mistake. Buy into support. Let's take a look at the long term. Looks we had a run. Back into support. Made a lower high, came back into support. That lower high broke. Now it's back into support. Use this previous high, use 16, use 17 as your support on the way up. So right now we're below the previous high. I would make sure that I'm above previous high on the long-term chart. But anything could happen. Watch the volume. Looks like it's coming into support. ETC. Let this. Hang on, I gotta see what's going on here. There we go. Let's jump back to QBQ. QBQ. Some production value right here. Watch those previous high breaks. There's a weekly chart. That previous high is just over 6. Let's watch the volume come in. Where is she? Crack the whip, boys. Let's take a ride. I got another previous high over here. at 8. So 6 to 8. Let's see if we can get over 8. It's building. 60% now. All right, so ETC. Long-term ETC. It's Ethereum Classic. So on a weekly chart, we broke above the 34, came into support. Watch previous high breaks at 268. 26. Let's call it 26. Previous high breaks. Use that as your support on your way up. It's only at 2.1 right now. Let's see where we find a bottom. Let's watch it come all the way back into support. Looks like I got a 2-bar reversal. What I got here is a 2-bar reversal called a bullish piercing pattern. It opened down, and now it's closing all the way in. To make it confirm on this hourly chart, we need to be above 50% of the previous candle. So right now it is above 50%, but I got 15 minutes left to confirm that candle. Nice volume return. Nice, nice, nice. But on this long-term chart here, it looks like a bearish retracement back into resistance. So know where you are on the chart. I don't think this one's ready. The hourly 2-bar candle, I don't think it's good enough. See what happens, but this broke down and now it's bearish retracing back into resistance. Looks like it's losing momentum. You can see the 8 coming across, crossing over the 13. Price has been closing below the 8. Well, make sure you, on the long term, on every time frame, make sure you stay above the 8. That's my first line of support. If I close any candles below the 8, I know that momentum is dying. And I'll just go through this here real quick. So we broke, made a top, came back in, made a bottom, made a spike high, came back in. Now we got a nice little trend line here. But it broke down, and then it didn't get back above the 8 this time, so it got rejected right here. We got a double top, broke down, even broke down previous. The daily chart, look for it to come back into support. I don't think it's ready. And that 34 simple moving average is in and around 1.7. So it may come into a dip. Someone wanted to look at Strat. Looks like Strat's making a top. I got 2 wicks pointing straight up. Those are exhaustion bars. Watch the wicks coming up. The wicks pointing up is the top. So it looks like a top on the daily. The 2 wicks, if these 2 wicks were matching, it would be a tweezer tops. But I got an exhaustion move there. You might get one more wick out of this, but let it come back into support. Previous high support is at 2.7. Here's a 4-hour chart. Let the 4-hour chart looks like it broke. Let that come back into support. I got previous highs. Previous high broke down here. I got previous high support at 3.2. Breaks at 2.8. So somewhere around 3. Watch it come into support first. You can see it breaking down. You got lower highs. The simple lines of support. It came into support, made a reversal bar here, and then it got rejected. Let it come into support. Not ready yet. Let's just, I'm going to cut it short here. Looks like QBK, Qbuck, I don't know, whatever. QBK. Looks like we got a little volume since the last time we looked at it. The one I'm looking at for my long-term play here is XPM, which is Prime Coin. Like I said, I own like 75% of these, but XPM I'm loaded up on. Now, that being said, please don't be mad at me when I make a mistake. Looks like it's breaking previous trend line. That pattern's breaking. It's going to come into support. It wasn't ready yet. Right now, we got a bounce, but you got to keep those support lines thin. The previous breaks or previous highs on the long-term chart. So it could come all the way back in and test lows again and hit in and around 1. So it's coming back in. I sold off a little bit so that I can buy back in at support. I got my orders in. That's another thing about trading. You got to get your orders in so that when you're sleeping, it'll fill. But that's it. I appreciate you guys coming by today. I think that these altcoins are awesome. So I'll try to get a regular schedule going, but I got too much going on. I just try to find a quick half an hour video so I can do it real quick. So no set schedule yet, but I'll let you know if I can figure something out. But that being said, I'll see you. How do I turn this thing off? I have no idea. No idea. Where is it? There it is. I'll see you.